Welcome back to Big G Peeps. Thank you again for spending a little time with me this evening. And we do have another wonderful selection that we have chosen tonight, where we will learn about the most important parts of the body. This is a wonderful children's story and teaches us quite a bit. So let's crack it open and get started. All right, what is the most important part of the body? When God created people, He made all the parts of the body with great care. Head, eyes, ears, nose, mouth, throat, feet, hands, heart, stomach, tongue, and all the rest. Then God told other parts what their jobs were. Feet's job was to stand firmly on the ground. Hands' job was to hold and to touch. Nose's job was to smell. Eyes' job was to see. Mouth's job was to chew, and throat would swallow. Heart's job was to pump blood to every part of the body. Head's job was to think. Tongue's job was to taste and speak. And stomach's job was to take care of all the food that entered the body and to be the king. All the parts of the body did their jobs perfectly, and for a while they were content. However, after a while they began to complain. Throat was the first. Hands, all the food you put in me doesn't stay for 1 second. Stomach grabs it and takes it for himself. I think we need a new king. Someone who'll be fair. Teeth agreed. We chew the food, but stomach takes it. We want a king who will not be so selfish. At least you get to touch the food, said Eyes. All we can ever do is look at it. Feet snorted. At least you get to see the food. All I do is walk to it. I never see it. I never touch it. And I certainly don't know what it tastes like. All the parts of the body agreed that they needed a new king, someone who would treat everyone fairly. They decided to talk to God. We want a new king. King Stomach is greedy. He only cares about himself. He never thinks of us. God was disturbed to hear this. He thought for a while. Finally, he reached a decision. What you should do is this. Hold a meeting and decide whom you want for your new king. However, before and after your meeting, don't eat anything. Don't eat anything until I come in 2 days. Then you can tell me who your new king will be. The parts of the body thought this was a good idea. We'll show King Stomach that he can't do without us. We won't give him any food. Then he'll see that being king is no fun. They started discussing who should be the new king. Soon the discussing turned to debating, and after a while the debating became arguing. Then it became all three, and they discussed and debated and argued from morning until the night had started gobbling up the day. The morning of the second day came. God was going to come soon, and they had not decided on a new king. But they couldn't decide anything. They were too hungry. Left Eye, you be the king, said Mouth weakly. Left Eye said, I can't see well this morning. A king cannot have weak eyes. Left Foot, what about you? Left Foot said, I'm so hungry I can't stand very steadily. How can I be king? All the parts of the body were feeling weak, and none of them wanted to be king. Mouth said, perhaps we should let Stomach remain king. Everyone agreed. God came. Have you decided who is going to be the new king? They told him that they did not want a new king. We see now that Stomach divides the food equally and each part of the body gets what it needs to do its job. God told Hands to cook a broth for Stomach. This was done. Hands fed the broth to mouth and teeth, and the broth flowed over them and continued down throat until it reached Stomach. Stomach distributed the broth to the other parts of the body. In a little while, things were no longer blurry to eyes. Feet started wiggling its toes. Mouth began humming a tune. All of the parts of the body felt like themselves again and were very happy. One part of the body was not happy, though. It didn't mind that Stomach was king. It just wanted the other parts to recognize that it was important too. It decided that it would wait. One day it would have the opportunity to prove how important it was. That day came when the beautiful Princess Mackay became seriously ill. She was the only child of the king and queen, the only heir to the throne of the kingdom. She laid in bed with a mysterious illness, and if something was not done, she would die. The royal physicians examined her from head to foot, from foot to head, and from hair to toenail. They consulted their medical books. They consulted among themselves. When they finished studying their medical books, when they were done talking among themselves, they agreed that there was only one cure that would save the life of the beloved princess. Your Majesties, they reported to the king and queen, there is only one thing in the whole round world that will heal the princess. Unfortunately, it is a thing impossible to get. What is that? The queen demanded to know. The milk of a lioness. What? Roared the king. That is impossible. Precisely, Your Majesty, said the physicians. But the princess is our only child, said the queen. If she dies, there will be no one to rule the people after we are gone. Our country will be taken over by our enemies. What were they going to do? The king issued a decree. I will give 1/2 of my kingdom to the man who gets the milk of a lioness for the Princess Mackay. News of the decree spread through the kingdom. All agreed it would be wonderful to have 1/2 of the kingdom, but no one could get the milk of a lioness. They were very sad because it meant that the beautiful young princess would die. However, high in the mountains lived a young man named Quam. When he heard the decree, his heart became strong with determination. He would save the life of the beautiful princess. He left his mountain village and descended to the plain where the lions and lionesses lived. He found a lioness who had recently given birth and was nursing her young. How was he going to get some of her milk? If he approached her, she would think he was threatening her young and she would attack and kill him. Quam had an idea. He killed a goat and threw a piece of the meat to the lioness. She ate it. The next day, Quam did the same thing. moving a little closer to the lioness. Each day, he came closer and closer to the lioness, until she was taking the goat right from his hand. He spoke softly and gently to the lioness, stroking her until she purred with contentment. Then he milked her. Quam started for the palace, carrying the milk of the lioness in a large jug. The parts of the body were very proud of themselves because each had played an important role in getting the milk. "I could see how to find the lioness," said Eyes. "Yes, but hearing her purr, I knew when it was safe to milk her," said Ears. "Who took you to the lioness, and who would have taken you away from there if she had attacked?" Feet proclaimed. "But who actually got the milk from the lioness, and who is now carrying it to save the life of the princess?" Hands declared proudly. Each part of the body talked about how important it was. Each part, that is, except tongue. "Wait, just wait," Tongue said to itself. "I'll show you who's important." When Quam reached the palace, he immediately went to the king and queen. Now it was Tongue's turn. "Your Majesties, I have brought you the very thing and the only thing that will save the life of the beautiful princess. The milk of a dog." "What?" yelled the king. "You dare come here and make fun of us? Guards! Arrest this man and hang him at once." Tongue turned to the other parts of the body. "See, with one word I have the power to determine if you live or die. Admit that I am very important and I'll save us from being killed." The other parts of the body agreed immediately that Tongue was very, very important. Then Tongue spoke again. "Your Majesties, please forgive me and my eagerness to be of service and to save the life of the young and beautiful princess. I tripped over my words. The milk is indeed that of a lioness. Have your physicians give it to the princess. If it does not heal her, my life is in your hands." The king and queen had the physicians give the milk to the princess. Within moments, Princess Mackay walked into the throne room in all her beauty, cured of her mysterious illness. Princess Mackay and Quam looked at each other and fell in love. Soon thereafter, they were married. Tongue took his place as the most important part of the body because everyone agreed that he had the greatest power for good and evil. When Mackay and Quam came to be queen and king, they used their tongues for good. May we do the same. The end. And that was the wonderful story of what is the most important part of the body. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for taking a little time to enjoy the Big G. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. Hit that notification bell, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.